Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons The Second Age. How are we all?
Great.
Yes!
Yeah, that sums it up.
Pretty accurate.
Don't worry about it.
Yup, this is
Yeah, that
exactly
sums,
Yeah,
up, that
that's
sums
it.
up even better. Everyone is panicking except Minnie. That's the sum of it.
Is that a 20-second bingo?
I think it is. I think it is.
Yep,
Make it
20-second
easy.
bingo. At this point, you might as well
Anyway.
add to the bingo card. Cav screams when asked how everyone is.
Just screaming.
Just, how are we all?
So, does anyone want to remind us of why you are so excited?
Are we excited? Is that the term we're gonna go with?
Well, it all started off with a nice evening dinner.
It did.
When
I forgot that's where it started, honestly.
that
Oh,
is
no.
legitimately where
Nope.
it started.
My brain's now just imagining, like, the shows all of us where we left off. It's just, you're probably wondering how we ended up in this situation. It all started with a lovely evening dinner.
It did.
Yes, and during us having some nice food, we spotted two black carriages that we were looking for, and decided to pursue them till we kind of lost them, and then we tracked them down again.
Yes.
We haven't actually seen the carriages itself, but that's fine. We
It's
did
fine.
find, however, who was that got like shot in the back? It was
Catherine.
yes. Like the party split up into two groups. One group went into an alleyway only to find Catherine being shot in the back,
Yes.
and saving her very conveniently. I can't remember exactly what else happened there. We found a guy that we tied them. You brought the guy with you, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, so we still have that. In the church, I believe.
Yep.
The other group was Grim and Elizabeth. Went down to the cathedral, and we went into our trail led us to the graveyard,
It did.
where we
And that is where we met Harfit.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
We called in reinforcements because something was fishy. We had a small fight, and then we
In a
had
spooky, massive mausoleum.
we had a
Grim
What we
and
call a
Arya nearly
showdown?
died.
no more than usual.
Grim and Arya nearly went down because we got ambushed by vampires.
Don't worry about it.
And we had a face
Yeah,
off.
except Grim never goes down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Grim somehow stayed up through all of that.
To be fair,
Who
so
the
did
fuck
you.
knows
So did
how?
you, Luka.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
was,
but
I wasn't-
Jayla was actively healing me.
She was actively healing Grim.
Yeah,
I was
that's
actually healing
true.
both of them. Though I
Yeah,
didn't start
then-
healing Grim until after he almost fucking died.
Yeah.
And I had my shield. It was all good.
Look, that's what 80 like an almost 80 hit point hit will do to you.
Yeah, that was rough.
And then we had a standoff.
Yes.
Face down. With the people who'd been behind everything the whole time.
Also known as the Cabal.
And then honestly, I don't know how to describe what happened next because everything went to shit.
Yep, it did, because I wanted to fight the evil
Lots of
people that...
in-character revelations. Arya wanted to fight them. Elizabeth was like, "You're being a fucking idiot."
Kelariis also wanted to fight them.
Kelariis also wanted to fight
Clarence also
them.
wanted to fight them, and Grim just didn't care.
Well, Grim,
Grim
Grim
was just
was being
watching the whole
tactical.
thing, like, this is
Yeah.
fine.
Grim didn't want to aggravate them, and was kind of aware that they had the advantage by
Yes.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also felt like he had to let you guys do what you had to do. But I guess that's where we.
Grim was prepared to let us fucking die.
Yeah,
Because
Grim
we're
was just
idiots.
like,
Basically, Clarice and Arya were like, fight us. Elizabeth was like, this is a bad idea. They're gonna kick our asses. Stop it right now. And Grim was like, they're gonna kick our asses, but I'm just gonna let them.
yep. And that's pretty much how it went. And so I got super pissed off at Elizabeth. I am still pissed off at Elizabeth.
And Elizabeth would be pissed off back if there wasn't for the shattering revelation that, despite the fact she has a ring of mind shielding, specifically so that people can't mess with her head.
People have, in fact, messed with her head.
Yep.
Yeah, previously lovely historian lady has in fact messed with her head, and she doesn't know how, and now she's like, what the fuck?
And that's the story all about how
Yay!
our life got turned upside down.
So,
If you'd like to take a moment, just sit down.
speaking of, as Elizabeth is sort of slumped to the floor on the floor of this crypt, sitting in what is basically just pitch darkness with a small sliver of moonlight like falling across you from the open doors. Arya sort of your mind still like slightly clouded from the hypnotic charm placed upon you, and Kelariis, the sort of like the blazing fury that you contained through sheer willpower. Grim returns from outside, escorting a rather woozy Paladin Ramos, who sort of stumbles forward and just sort of leans on the side of the doorframe and says, "So what exactly happened here?"
Well, we'll start off with the basics, I guess. You'll probably notice. Well, actually, no, there aren't any in the hallway, I guess. Oh no, I guess we have this shapeshifter.
There's two unconscious bodies that you've put next to the door.
So, we're like, I could only describe this as the actions of a cult. Here are, well, we knocked these two unconscious, and then there are some. Did we ever figure out what they were? I guess we know they were vampires.
We know they're vampires.
I think
You have your suspicions.
And what we can only believe to be vampires and a dog from hell. Two heads and all that stuff. We killed all of them, took out these two, and then we got a glimpse as to who was behind all this. And admittedly, didn't really reveal too much to us. The main thing that we learned that it is most definitely the Smallbrook family that we need to target. That they're the source of all this, or at least the ones being manipulated into all this. The people that you I guess they just knocked you unconscious. They seem to be organizing all of this. Good news is they don't care about you or the church or any of the nobles. The bad news is they got what they wanted.
So, gradually becoming more and more incredulous, like, Paladin Ramos has just been staring at you as he, like, looks you up and down as you explain all of these horrors that you fought off whilst simultaneously still just wearing your dinner outfit, which is now just covered in blood and, like, torn at the edges.
Yep.
He just looks at you with a look of sheer, like, incredulousness on his face and says,
We should have taken the time to armor up, but we were not really
I'm
expecting this.
honestly This is clearly far more than we had ever expected this to become. I need to notify my order. If this group has been allowed to operate under our very noses for this long,
Something tells me that they won't be back here for quite some time. Mainly due to the fact that the thing that they wanted was a gem, well, which was in the possession of one of the noble houses.
I see.
And,
Now they
and
have it.
they've acquired it. And the gem that we speak of is it's almost it's one of legends, pretty much. Turns out there's multiples of them, and they're going around collecting them.
I see.
Good
What,
thing
what do
is,
these things do?
Well, here's the weird part. They, as you may have, can tell, they are not exactly the best guys,
Oh,
but they are kind of trying to
Grim's
prevent.
way with words.
In their own way, they're trying to prevent the end of the universe.
That seems like a...
It's
But they're doing it using the same methods that those who seek to destroy it are using.
yes.
Which is... I mean, it's just unacceptable.
It's kind of complicated, but I'm not quite sure what to do yet. Because on one hand, I would really like to, have long night's rest, gear up, and just barge into the Smallbrooks. But despite all this, I doubt we can actually create a solid lead towards them, or that links them yet.
Who amongst you looks the most wounded right now?
Probably me.
Probably either Grim or...
Oh yeah, it's Grim or Arya.
Okay.
I am half-ish, I think. I mean, actually.
So, I guess you're closest. So, Paladin Ramos sort of reaches out and utters a small prayer under his breath, and he will use his lay on hands to restore 15 hit points to you. And he says, hopefully that helps a little. As for what to do, well, you say these people are gone now. How do you know?
Their departure might take a little while. However, if we want the first lead, I would be checking at all guard gates for a black coach or chariots or anything. Because that seems to be their preferred method of transport.
I see.
However, we are not too familiar with them yet. The only reason they showed us as much as they did is because we bluffed, or I bluffed, and it may have didn't quite work out the way I'd hoped.
Very well. I'll go to the guard post. I will inform them of what's happened. I'll tell them to stop and detain any coaches if they can, and I guess form a perimeter around the Smallbrook estate.
I will say that like these people, Amir, like I don't think anyone on your guard or in the guard would be able to actually so much as stop them.
Stop them.
They have some magic powers that would allow them to just send them away
Surely we can't
harmlessly.
we can't just let them leave.
No, but that's why I suggest it's more of a case of observing. If you don't do that and they realize that they're being accounted for, they'll simply erase the memory, and we'll have no clue.
Very well. I'll do what I can.
Might do that regardless. However, on another note, of how do we take care of the mess that's inside of here? I don't know if you.
Well, if my teachings are up to speed, I believe the undead, it's best to burn them, else they rise again. But believe me, I think you will have the temple's sanction to dispose of them. As for the others, well, I will. And he points at like the two and he says, "These two, are they alive?"
Yes. One of them is a shapeshifter.
Shapeshifter. I suppose that makes more sense.
We need to be careful of that.
Well,
We're kind of although I think the others may have some beef to take care of. We should try and because they had another prisoner that you were looking after with
yes.
someone.
I came as fast as I could to assist you, so hopefully they are still tied up.
Well, we should probably try and make haste and
Yes.
return.
Well, as a marshal of the law, I give you full permission to make a citizen's arrest on these people, and I think any court would find in favor of what you've done here, even though it was not necessarily within the regular purview of the law. I think for now we can make an exception.
Well, we avoided trespassing. The only
he sort of like looks at you, like shakes his head as if he's like, "Did I just hear what you said correctly?" Just like
that's.
I don't feel like that's the most important issue at hand here.
No, that's just me thinking about what we were talking about earlier.
Anyway, I should go.
This is.
He sort of
Yes.
takes
We
off.
should also, well, I guess I'll start preparing the captives for transports.
Yeah, unless there's rope or stuff in the bag of holding, you basically have nothing to tie them up with, but they are completely unconscious, so.
We can tear their clothes and use it as makeshift rope.
Wow.
So you're gonna try and bind them?
I guess it's like. Oh, actually, we have chains.
Oh,
You have
This gets
chains?
worse and worse somehow.
Okay.
Chains would
it's fine.
work for now.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, they're unconscious. It is like very little effort for you to chain the two of them together. I don't believe you have a padlock, so you'll just have to sort of like secure it temporarily. But
We do not have a lock.
so, what are the rest of you doing during this time?
I mean,
I mean, well,
Elizabeth's still
Grim's-
curled up on the floor,
Yeah, I guess while Grim
Just
is doing that, I kind of
mumbling
like
to
move
herself.
over to wherever Arya is. I think like I kind of know where she is. I just can't super see her right now on the map. I think.
Oh,
I saw
right,
where
because
she
it's still
moved.
Yeah.
dark.
Well,
Yeah, I think I saw where she moved the last time.
technically she's now like over here because she was in the conversation. But
Oh right. Yeah, I just kind of.
and yeah, actually, hang on, I'll.
Actually, I guess I would probably light a torch, considering I have, like, we have some in the bag of holding,
Okay.
just to
I'll
make
just-
life easier for people.
I'll just.
Oh,
do
we can
that.
all see each other, yell at each other in the light.
Yay!
Yay! Ah.
No, it's...
Yeah, I mean,
There you
like,
go.
light or no light, I kind of go to Arya and just... Are you okay? I mean... Did they do anything else? Or did they do anything else to you that...
Not that I'm aware of. I just can't do anything to them right now. And then she sort of shoots a look over towards where Elizabeth is, and she's like, "That doesn't mean my anger is gone. You got a big storm coming for you, honey.
Damn.
Damn." But I should be alright in terms of physically for the moment.
I guess, like, I have small slot. I will... I get, you know what, I'll dump the rest of my, 10 lay on hands into you.
Ah, thanks, bro.
Just for, like, you know...
You're the real OG.
Look.
You-
It's comforting as much as it is healing.
Yeah.
And, like, standing by you, so...
You watch as like the puncture wounds in Arya's like shoulder and neck begin to close. So after a short while, Grim, you finish like lashing these two guys together with chains.
I guess I'll have a look at the others. Elizabeth was kind of having a breakdown, wasn't she?
I mean, yeah, she's curled up on the floor. She's definitely having a panic attack.
What to do? I will deal with you later.
Just ignore that one. Move on.
Next on the list of priorities, Arya. We
Yeah.
should probably get you through that, through the gate of or through the entrance of the cathedral, to get
Yeah.
you cleared of magic, kind of.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I'd rather not be charmed any longer.
Well, just in case there's something else, maybe we can get rid of that too.
Yeah.
We can go now and come back.
Kelariis, you seem to be doing okay. Could you perhaps carry two people whilst I figure out how to handle Elizabeth?
I could probably help her carry them.
Oh, that's right. You can do that together.
Yeah, we can both do it, so.
Yeah, don't leave each other out of sight, because shapeshifter.
Yep.
You know the drill. Actually, considering I want to be really safe, do we have This may seem a slight bit brutal, but can I just? I will take a crossbow bolt. Oh no, wait. Arya has the crossbow bolts.
I do.
I feel like if we surely the shapeshifter can't get rid of objects in its body. So if you just like stick an arrow
What?
in it, if we just stick an
Correct.
arrow in its leg,
No.
No, we're good. I think we'll be okay.
probably. But
Ah, stick an arrow in its leg. Oh my god.
it's not even human.
Grim, we have
We're gonna be okay.
eyes and I guess at the moment hands. It's not necessary.
Yeah,
Oh.
we'll manage.
Elizabeth's gonna start casting a spell,
Okay.
but it's a ritual.
Oh no, you don't. What are you doing?
Gonna help with them. Points at the bodies.
I think it's best if you just do nothing for now. How about you come sit outside for a bit?
I can help carry them.
Oh, that's,
I think we're okay without
We
you.
can take care of that.
Well, you'll
Ah!
be.
No,
They'll be fine.
heft one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some fresh air might do you good instead of this dank ripped.
Yeah.
Like, out of character, I feel bad for being a bitch to Elizabeth. In character, Arya feels validated.
Yeah, I also feel extremely bad.
Okay. So the two groups split off, presumably.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we are heading in the same direction. I guess.
Well, I imagine you're
just-
like pausing to talk to Elizabeth.
I
So
was
we'll...
gonna say Arya and Kelariis probably are just like, bye.
Bye, bitch.
So you disappear off, holding these two incapacitated, cloaked figures, leaving Grim and Elizabeth.
Out of
Wow.
character, I'm assuming I don't know of any magic that could possibly bypass my ring.
Not as long as you have it on, no.
Yeah, didn't think so. Am I definitely still wearing? She probably like check she's still wearing it.
Yes.
Okay, good.
So, I'd ask how you're holding up, but I think the answer is fairly clear on that one. Elizabeth?
I don't know how she did it. She shouldn't have been able to do it. It should have been impossible. She still did it.
Well, nothing is impossible in this world, but have you? Well, I would suggest that she may have slipped the ring on and off. However, there's a few
Wait,
things.
did she ever touch my hand at any point? I've just realised now.
Not that you remember.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Ah!
Damn.
There's two things There's also something else you need to keep in mind. These people enjoy mind games. And, imagine what if they just said that for the sake of messing with you? They clearly had the potential for a double. Nobody heard you leave your room. Like, the only thing we've got for going for the alter memory theory is their word. Admittedly, that doesn't mean that it's not true. So, what would you?
You're not normally the comforting type, are you?
Ah! Gave you that
I was gonna
idea.
say, I
Yeah.
love that Grim is able to simultaneously attempt to comfort, but also somehow.
Somehow make it worse.
Vibe hope.
Basically, he's comforting, and then he instantly makes it worse.
Oh, Grim.
Oh my
Um.
Grim.
Well, there is one thing we could try, which might. Well, I say we can try it. Would take a while. Resources. We could try and find someone who can, could try and edit your memory and see if it actually works.
She just shakes her head wildly. She just gestures to where the ring is on her finger, but obviously it's invisible, and it's like, there is literally one reason I have this thing, and it's so people don't do that, and they still did it.
Well, you assume they did it.
I mean, they've got plenty of evidence.
They got one thing, and that's they said so.
Well, no, they said so, and there was the fact that I was at the house when I should have been asleep, and it was conveniently, like, roughly the time I would have gone to bed, and also, like, the time between when I thought I went to bed and the time it takes to travel there is about the same.
And it would also, happen to be just your memory edited that there was happened to be a second Elizabeth here, which couldn't possibly have been staged or like conveniently timed to message your head.
I guess.
So before you,
But then they'd have to,
Keep 'em-
like, know me, but unlike, not just me as in what I've done, but know me.
well, how much of you did, like, we don't really know how much they were like you, like, because, like, this be like the. Yeah.
Like, let me put it this way, the first time I've ever told anybody I even have that ring was literally when you guys thought I was the doppelganger.
Yes.
So there's, like, literally no way anybody else should have ever been able to know that. And
Well-
therefore know about that. Look, it just, they shouldn't have been able to know.
But like everything they needed to know, they could have just seen from the outside. They needed your looks. And maybe your voice.
But if they were to, like, play mind games and just make me think they'd done that, they wouldn't even think that's, they wouldn't even try it if it like, if they didn't know me, and they don't know me, they just know what I look like. And kind of how I talk, but that's about it.
Make me an intelligence check, Elizabeth. So,
Oh, that's a save.
oh yeah, so it's
12.
No.
no,
No, it's just minus proficient. It's just -5.
so it's yeah.
17.
Okay, you did tell Illyria an awful lot of stuff about yourself.
But I never mentioned that one specific fear,
You did not.
and I never mentioned the ring.
Admit, like,
That you remember.
I think you weren't targeted for your one specific fear. I think you were more a target of convenience. You are by far the most talkative one. So, if anyone was gonna talk to the historian, odds are pretty good it's gonna be you. And that's like, if it would have been me, maybe I would have dealt with it slightly differently. But in the end, like I would also be just as confused, and it would have caused the mess. The only difference is that, well, you have a specific, well, phobia, I guess.
I don't like it when
But
people
that,
mess
like-
with my head.
Like, just think about it. Like, what would have changed if you were not afraid? I can't think of any.
I mean,
Well, I
if
guess
if
the-
I wasn't so scared of that, I wouldn't even have had the ring. So
Yeah, but like, you're like, you don't even know if they know about the ring. The ring seems like you're concerned about your ring, but the ring doesn't matter. It is a well, I guess you mean. I guess I see how it might matter. But-
it's literally supposed to make it so people can't mess with my head. I mean,
Well-
it worked on Kelariis's rod.
But like, it doesn't make you immune to, like, me verbally messing with your head. It makes you immune to being magically messed with, forcefully messed.
You know what? It's just gonna stand up and like, I'm just gonna go back to the tavern.
You might not want to.
She just starts to walk off.
You might not want to be walking around alone yet.
She just keeps walking.
I'll follow her to the tavern for now.
So, Arya and Kelariis, as you come around out of the back streets into the sort of the low lamp-bathed light of the courtyard of the cathedral, you step up. You can see the door is still open, at least on one side. Kelariis, you push the door open. Inside, still lying on the floor where you left him, is the unconscious guy that attempted to kill Catherine. And Catherine is just sort of sitting cross-legged on a bench, covered in a blanket, just sort of like staring at this guy. You push the door open, like with the clank of the chains, drag these other two inside. She sort of looks up and says, "Oh, you've returned. Is everything all right?" Alden took off in an awful hurry.
Laura's has just like a grimace on her face.
Yeah. Arya just shakes her head and says, "No, everything is not all right."
Arya, as you step inside, you feel the field like wash over you, and your mind does clear to a point.
Oh, good. Thanks.
I like how he
Pedro.
said to a point.
To a point. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
still pretty fucking.
Yeah,
pissed,
like
so-
she's still like literally angry with rage.
Yeah. So, you know, there's only so much you can do about that.
Taking in the concerned expressions on your faces, Catherine stands up and sort of says, "Please tell me what's wrong."
I guess Arya kind of relays what happened.
Okay. You,
So these things are out there. They have powerful magic.
well, at least I'm
More
glad
powerful than we can do with.
I'm glad that nobody's seriously hurt.
No, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but
I Sorry, I'm usually full of positive things to say, but I don't know what I can say.
it's all right. You've also been through a lot tonight. How are you feeling? Any better since earlier?
I'm still in pain, but it's... I can't complain. She just sort of like indicates like Arya, who's like basically from top down like spattered with blood and viscera, like some of it her own, some of it other people's. She just sort of says, I feel like you guys came off this a lot worse.
Well, we did all survive, so there is that. But those people need to be dealt with.
Perhaps some of these people can tell us something more.
That is what we're hoping. I don't think any of us really have it in us to do anything until tomorrow is the problem. And we need to keep them tied up, restrained, unable to do whatever it is that they might try to do to escape until then.
As you're saying this, you hear like sort of like the sound of like running feet and the clanking of chainmail behind you outside in the street.
What kind of armor is Paladin Ramos wearing?
Half plate. So he has a little bit of chainmail, but he's mostly plate.
I like look to see who is running in chainmail because
you look outside into the faintly lamplit courtyard and see two city watch running towards you.
What's going on?
They sort of like get to the foot of the stairs and sort of say, "We're hoping you could tell us."
Did Paladin Ramos send for you?
Not him specifically, but all we heard was there was trouble at the cathedral.
Yeah. What are we gonna... So, what was the plan with these vampires again? Were we gonna give them...
The people you have are not vampires.
Or, these... whatever these things are. These people.
People. Well,
Yeah.
two of them are people, one of them is a changeling.
I was like, one of them is definitely not human.
One is a human, one is a halfling, and one is a shapeshifter.
well, I mean, I think we've dealt with the trouble that was occurring here, but has anybody seen? I don't know. I guess maybe you wouldn't know, but have you any? Let me try that again. Have any of the guards seen a black carriage going through town?
They sort of look at each other and say, "Not really, but we only left the guardhouse a few moments ago. Came here as fast as we could."
Well, it would be helpful if you could alert your city guard and tell them that if they see a black carriage to let us know. I would not recommend interacting with them, but we need to know if they are going to leave the city.
Well, if anyone's seen it, you'll know soon enough. Basically, the entire city watch has been brought in on this, and those who are actually awake, and some of us who aren't.
Good. We'll need all the eyes we can.
Who put you on alert? If you said it wasn't Paladin Ramos.
No. The word came from him. I I just heard from a captain.
No, that makes sense. Do you... I kind of like... Oh god. I'm wondering if we should ask them if they have, like, places to hold people that might use magic, but... I don't know if we want to just, like, keep these people under our own watch.
We don't really have anywhere to put them, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we could just, like, stay in the church overnight.
Yeah.
I mean, the church is far from secure.
No, it's not, but...
So what would be one hell of a morning, sir?
I
sermon.
mean, we'd get them out before then, like...
I don't know, you won't have finished a long rest by the time the morning comes. It's like already
Yeah,
like
so
3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Actually, no, it's probably not that late because it was really only 10, 11 o'clock by the time you guys were in the street. So it's probably like midnight, which is still not enough time. But
No. I guess, Arya, do we want to ask if they're to keep these people?
Maybe. Might be the best option.
are these the culprits?
Well,
Associated with them, at the very
yeah.
least.
We should hold them in the city jail.
the thing is, they can use magic.
What kinds of magic?
All sorts. One of them can change their shape. The others can use, I guess we'd know it's necromancy of some sort, right? Or like necromantic magic of some sort.
Yeah, you know they're capable of some necromancy, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and some of the others are capable of necromancy or similar sorts of things. I think we've taken what they use to cast their spells, but I don't think they have other ways of doing things besides that.
Yeah. It might still be dangerous.
They sort of like look at each other and go, well, don't know how much magic they can do with just their hands and their... Well, I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't really know how magic works. If we chain them to the wall, do you think they'll still be able to escape?
It depends.
Chances are
They sh-
probably not, but if you can spare a guard to keep an eye on them, it may be a good idea.
I think there'll be more than a handful of guards keeping an eye on them.
Arya, do you have any other precautions, perhaps?
No. Not that I can think of.
I'll get together some men to carry these people, and we'll take them to the jail.
How far do we know how far the jail is from here?
I don't believe so. I don't think you've been there. I think only V has been there.
How far is it from here?
Maybe 10, 20 minutes walk.
I kind of look over to Arya. We could probably help you just take them now.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. Save an extra trip.
Don't know how we'll carry 3 people between the 4 of us.
Oh,
In
buddy!
comes the 20 strength Dragonborn.
Oh!
Don't worry, we'll be
We'll
more
manage.
than capable of doing that.
Kelariis just hefts 2 of them up on her
Just like,
shoulders.
Here we go!
They're nothing.
the guards are just sort,
Clearly
like
have-
sort of just stand back from just like, well, I guess that's one way.
You haven't met a big beefy dragonborn before, have you?
No, I clearly have
dragonborn of-
not.
Divine strength.
We're a little.
Excuse you, my strength is trained and hard-earned.
No, I didn't mean divine as in gifted by a divine. I meant divine as in on the level of divines.
Ah.
We're not exactly close. We don't see a lot of hell. We don't see a lot of other folk around here at all, really. So, yeah, consider me a little surprised, but he sort of like gestures to the one guy that's left, and he's like, "Can you manage him, or do you need some help?"
Yeah, I can manage.
What is your strength?
My strength is 15.
Just about.
I mean, I'm not as beefy as Kelariis, but I'm not.
No.
I mean, I pull a huge longbow, so
Yeah, you pull
Yeah.
a longbow that has a fucking long shot distance.
Yeah.
So like,
I
Yeah.
have pretty strong arm muscles.
yeah.
Yeah, you just can't do it quite as effortlessly.
No, and I couldn't do 2 of them, probably.
Arya's just fueled by anger right now.
Yeah,
I don't know fucking
pure
what's this
rage.
guy.
Well, to be fair, Kelariis is only carrying 1.5, really.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, is she?
Yes,
Well,
because one of them is a halfling.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's true.
So, between the two of you, yeah, you can carry them to the jail.
Carrying
I'm
one
fueled
plus
by
Grim.
pure rage.
Yeah,
I believe
and
this is the story of how Arya takes a level in Barbarian.
I mean,
That would
hey,
actually
That'd
be
be
really
so
fun.
badass.
Yeah, I would actually really like to do that.
You are a melee ranger.
I am a melee ranger.
You would have to ditch the armor though.
Yeah, that's not.
but your
You
natural
just
AC
fucking
would go
pop
up
out of your
anyway.
armor
But
when you're pissed.
Oh my god! Just rip off my clothes. Come at me, bitch!
I could, in a weird way, I can see Arya doing that at like the lowest of lows in terms of anger.
I'm just
Yeah.
thinking as well, a dex-based barbarian.
That would be kind of crazy.
I don't even know if that'd work.
Yeah.
I don't
you
think, I
can,
don't think
but
the
it's
barbarian
yeah,
rage buffs dexterity attacks. I think it specifically says strength
it's
attacks.
yes, strength. Anyway,
Moving on.
so yeah, after going your various various ways, eventually you all end up back at the North Road Tavern.
I mean, if no one immediately follows Elizabeth into her room, she casts Arcane Lock on the door.
Okay,
That's fair enough.
yep, the door is secured.
I'm just checking for everyone's belongings.
Yeah, you go through everyone's possessions; they are untouched.
Good.
Yeah, I will say, those of you who got into, well, you all got into combat. Your fine clothes are pretty ruined at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, our fancy clothes.
You're
Not
probably gonna have to buy some
clothes.
new ones.
Oh.
Cause yeah,
I mean, Elizabeth's first call is take her clothes off and start casting mending.
Yeah, that's fair.
mending won't remove the bloodstains. That's the problem.
No, but then again, she always wears her fine clothes, so
Yeah, I mean, Arya's probably just gonna straight up change into her normal stuff,
Yeah.
because,
Just put the furs back
Yeah.
on.
yeah, put the furs back on, put my armor back on,
The apple bottom jeans.
the apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. I hate that this is a reference that we're making.
Anyway. Yeah, with that, I guess, unless anyone wants to do anything, you guys can take a rest.
How do I get my ace or my hit points back to full?
You're depleted maximum health. You'll have to wait and find out.
Okay.
how do we get back to actual max HP?
So are you taking a long rest?
Long rest
Yeah.
a little bit. I can't remember. It's different for different types of.
Yes.
Long rest.
So, as you take a long rest, I need to check something.
No, you don't.
I do.
It's like,
Really
maybe
don't.
don't. Maybe don't. How about no thanks?
Maybe don't and say that you did.
Okay. Grim, I need to borrow you.
Okay.
Oh,
Dun dun.
oh, wow.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so as you begin your long rest, it takes you a short while of sort of tossing and turning to fall asleep after everything that you've been through of the evening. But once you eventually drift off, you fall into a fairly pleasant slumber. And as you sleep, you slowly begin to dream. And in the dream, you're in a place that seems strangely familiar. It is the town where you spent a lot of time growing up. And you're just you're sat outside, enjoying sort of like a pleasant summer's afternoon. And the moment you sort of become aware that you're dreaming, you're aware that you're in conversation with somebody else. And as you turn to look at the person that you're in conversation with, you see the long-haired woman that you spoke to in the tomb, the woman that was referred to as the Supreme Witch. She's just sort of sitting back in this chair with her feet up, and sort of turns to you and says, "Well, that certainly was an interesting first meeting."
It certainly was. So what are you looking for?
Right now? Well, I suppose I'm testing the water.
Well, I guess that's fair. Yeah. As you may have noticed, there were rather mixed reactions.
Quite. It's to be expected. I mean, knew there would
Yeah.
be some initial resistance.
Well, I something told me you would be able to handle it.
Yes. And a wise
Especially as
decision
we
it
were
was you made not to contest us. I suppose we can consider that the third test.
For now, I think it will. I will do.
Well,
Like, assuming I do assume that like this this kind of means that we are not longer being assaulted by demons and other being of that nature. Well, at least from your organization.
If I tell you the answer to that, it'll ruin the fun.
Well, I guess that was to be expected.
And besides, moving forward, you'll need to be on the highest alert.
How so?
Quite simply put, the person who came up with these tests is quite adamant that you end up dead.
Oh, well.
Not your entire group, just you. Although she holds no particular fondness for your friends either.
How curious.
But let us say I am currently considering her worth over yours.
How interesting.
After seeing you in action, honestly, I'm quite impressed. I knew you were good. I'd heard the stories, I'd done my research, but
Well, we try. Although
you do more than try. You succeed, and that's what's important.
Depends on what your goal is.
The
I
goal?
haven't succeeded at everything yet, but that will, as time progresses, will. Well, I'm mainly in reference to the Legion.
See, the Legion. Ah, yes. As I said to you, my organization has been involved in the Legion's history quite a bit. We are its gatekeepers, so to say. We are the ones that make sure that their schemes stay little more than fever dreams. After all, if there is no world to live in, then what is the point of accruing all of this power?
That is a very fair assessment.
Quite simply put, you asked what our goal is, and it is just that.
Well, that is your overarching theme. However, I'm not sure if not sure in what to what degree we'll be participating in that. I guess that is.
Oh,
I guess we'll find out.
I guess I'll have to keep my hopes up.
Yeah, it depends. Occasionally, if our goals align and we might be able to help each other occasionally. However, there will always be the slight issue with our moral disagreements, I guess.
Yes.
But I guess that is not even the morals within the party are clear, so I guess that's will forever remain a battle.
You see, Quagrim, this is a thing. You could be like me, liberated of those problems. Those who follow me do so not because of respect, because of fear, or for any of those reasons. They follow me because we have the same goal, and I have certain controls. whilst you lack the same abilities that I have, I dare say some of the philosophy could bleed through. Well, my time here is almost up. She holds up a wine glass to toast to you, and you find that you have one in your hand as well. And she says, "To our alliance, or mutual destruction, whichever you prefer."
I guess this won't be the last time we see each other.
I'm hoping not. She drinks her drink.
Oh, I'll just do the same.
It tastes of nothing because it's a dream. And she flips her legs off the table, stands up and says, "Well, I'll leave you to your rest." And then the world yanks out from underneath you, and you wake up.
Oh, they're back.
Okay. You all awaken fully rested with all of your max hit points restored.
Yay!
All of them?
Hooray.
Even me?
Even you.
Yay! I don't know what you did to me, but yay.
Definitely my fault.
What?
No, it has nothing to do with me. Don't worry.
Okay.
Oh.
I
So,
have all my spell slots back.
you are all awake and fully rested. It is...
Oh, I
Like-
need to roll
Oh yes, roll for your charges.
a second while I fix my HP. And what is it? Is it just 1d4? Is that the thing? I don't.
Yes, I believe it's 1d... It might be 1d4 plus 1.
Nope, it's just 1d4.
It's just 1d4, yeah.
Okay, hold on, guys. We might not get back many charges today.
Touch wood.
2.
I can use the thing once because I think I had 1 charge left.
Wow.
Ah, yes, you had 1 charge saved, so you've got the 3 you need to do the...
Haha! I can do it once. That's all I can do.
Worth.
Okay. So, eventually, the 4 of you are downstairs eating breakfast.
Actually,
It's about-
I would like to try and gather everyone before we go down.
Sure thing.
Uh,
It's about
Okay.
9 o'clock in the morning.
I came to a slight realization. Remember how in the past we had some issues with scrying and such? I feel like we've kind of been acting, disregarding all of those opportunities or possibilities.
That's true.
And considering who we're up against, that seems like they're, probably one of their favorite options.
Yeah, we should try to figure out a way to guard against that.
That would also, that would also risk exposing any secrets that we might not have expected to come out. Looking at Elizabeth, and it could possibly be, but I don't know how we would protect against it. So,
Yeah, it's a hard one.
but just keep it in mind. Well, shall we grab some breakfast?
Okay.
I suppose.
You all have something to eat. And, yeah, I guess we'll stop this track and
Stop the extremely ominous music.
start this one. Yes. So, after the 4 of you are fed, watered, fully rested, you decide to come up with a plan.
I was gonna say yeah, because during breakfast, Elizabeth's just like, what now?
I don't know. After you tried to stop us from chasing them, I didn't know if you were interested in pursuing them anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry I tried to save your life.
You should have let me do what I needed to do.
So you needed to die.
I needed to fight them because
And
they are
die.
a threat.
You
You have
don't
no
know
idea what would have
that.
happened.
Well, I have a pretty good idea of what would have happened.
How would you know? You haven't been out in the field. You have no idea what the hell's going on.
Because I just watched as you nearly died. You don't have your armor. You don't have any of your gear. And
That's not your decision to
we
make.
were all already beaten up. And here they were, fully rested. No one that powerful. No one gets that cocky just on their own.
Oh,
Listen,
They could have killed you.
they could have killed me, or I could have killed them, and we would have ended this mess already. But you didn't give me a choice.
To be fair, they didn't give you a choice either.
Yeah, but they are not supposed to be my companions. If you
Well,
ever counterspell me again, we're gonna have a big problem.
I'm sorry, I wanted to save your life.
Listen,
I wasn't about to sit back and watch you get murdered.
I wasn't about to let them leave, but you didn't let me make that choice.
We couldn't make that choice. It was die or let them leave.
You have no idea what would have happened.
I have a pretty good idea, looking at the evidence. Like, do you ever stop to think in
Do
your
you
life?
ever stop to consider that I have way more experience than you? And I know my own limitations?
Experience jumping headlong into danger that you don't really fully understand. Yes, you definitely have more experience at that.
How the hell would you know? You don't even know me. We don't even know you. You're just a kid.
Hey, Vodal has told me plenty about your expeditions.
Yeah, being told and being there is not the same thing. So if you ever presume to tell me what to do again, then just consider the fact that I will not react well.
Right, okay, so I'll let you die next time. That's fine.
Good. That's what I wanted.
Sure, and I'm sure Vondal will be very pleased to know that you threw yourself into danger and got murdered despite being warned.
Von Dahl would have understood that we couldn't have let those people walk out of there.
I'm pretty
He
sure
understa-
Vondal would have also understood we couldn't have fought them.
At the very least, Vondal would have let us make our own decisions there.
Yep. You
That's...
took away my choice, and that's not okay.
They took away your choice immediately afterwards. They would have just done that in the first place anyway.
You have no idea what would have happened. Because you didn't let the scenario play out. If you ever do that again, there will be consequences. Just know that.
Yeah, you'll be dead.
And you'll be dead too, so everyone will be happy.
Arya.
Hey,
I'm going for a walk.
fine.
Let me know whatever you plan to do next.
Oh, now we're allowed to make choices? This is great.
Well, you've literally just told me I have to let you make choices, so
Yeah, because
yes,
I'm a human.
I'm
and
very
I can do whatever
sorry.
I
I
want.
tried to save your life. Go make a plan. I don't care anymore. Then yeah, Elizabeth's gonna leave.
Should one...
So, as Elizabeth storms out of the tavern, the door swings back and forth for a moment. The rather perturbed-looking bartender is desperately trying not to look at you guys, and coming in through the swinging door is Tallithsyr.
Oh, Thalithsyr, you missed everything.
Sarah, are you alright? Did
Uh,
anything happen?
I'm okay. What was all that about?
I mean, if I passed Thalithsyr on the way, Elizabeth will literally stop to look at her and say, "Just a little advice that I've learned from the events of yesterday. Don't try and save Arya's life if she's fixated on getting herself killed, because she'll just get mad, and then we'll walk off.
Okay. She just looks at you like stunned, and then walks in. Yeah. What was all that about?
A child throwing a tantrum. We have bigger things to discuss. Have we told Tallithsyr what the hell happened?
No, because we have not
Okay,
seen her,
we
so
should probably
that
get her up
happened.
to speed.
Yep, that happens.
There's good news and there's bad.
Okay. So
Good
you you go through the whole story, and Tallithsyr looks very concerned.
Um, I guess the real thing that we need to do right now is hope that they haven't broken out of jail yet.
Well, that's kind of why I'm here.
Did they break out of jail?
No, no,
Okay.
fortunately not.
I was like, God damn it!
I probably would have brought that up before the whole story if it had been that important. No.
Yeah, I would have hoped so.
So, I was assisting the housemaster, doing, well, basically what you asked me to do, when basically a bunch of city guard turned up and asked for me specifically. Apparently, Paladin Ramos wants to talk to all of us about something.
They were more specific than that?
Well, I don't think he wanted to tell the guards that he sent to ask me.
I think it should be fairly clear to us. Well,
I think he just kind of wanted to avoid raising attention.
That's fair.
we should probably not discuss it in here.
No.
But we will. Well, I guess if he wants to meet, we can definitely fill you in as we get there.
Okay. Arya, I hope you don't consider this me stepping out of line, but
Oh, the 0. Let's go.
Hold on.
I understand why it is you wanted to do what you wanted to do, but I don't think it's fair to call Elizabeth a child.
She has no idea of the things we've seen.
She
Or
doesn't,
the-
but that's why you should help her learn.
How can I help her learn if she won't listen?
You need to let her make mistakes.
Some mistakes cost lives, and I can't allow
You think I
that.
don't know that?
I know you do, but she doesn't. And I'm not willing to let someone die because she doesn't understand.
Just
Things will become a little more clear once you know what happened. It was something that none of us quite experienced. Well, I don't think any of us quite experienced it in the same way before.
I'm just saying, it's if we're gonna work through this, we need to have each other's backs.
That's what I thought until she counterspelled me.
Well, maybe that's something we need to work on.
Maybe so. But we should probably get going. More pressing issues than our inter-party struggles right now.
I think we should go into this at least kinda unified. This is a big deal after all.
Well, he's gonna expect Elizabeth to be there. So we should probably.
We should find her and talk to her. Again.
It's kind of unfortunate. The one person that can communicate with all of us is always the one missing.
I don't think she's gone very far.
No.
She just looks sort of sullen.
Tallithsyr, are you alright?
Yeah, I'm okay.
There are good times and there are bad times in groups, and we're just having a bit of a low. Things will be better. Don't worry.
She just doesn't respond.
Well,
Should we go?
Yeah, we should try to find Elizabeth now.
Okay. You walk out of the tavern. Doesn't take too long to find her. She hasn't gone far.
I mean, she's probably just gone storming off in the direction of either A, the nearest place where she can read books, or B, the church.
It's probably one and the same.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Exactly.
So yeah, she's like 100 feet down the high street.
I guess just one of us should go get her. I guess I can go.
Okay, you scurry off after her. What do you say?
So, Liz?
Lil?
Great start.
We might, like,
Yeah, I mean, she just stops and turns and looks at you and say, I'm sorry, but right now, we are not on Liz terms.
Damn.
Damn.
I feel like Grim
Well.
didn't do anything, but I mean, go off.
The least out of all of us.
well, regardless, we're gonna have to make everyone play well together for for a little bit, because people, well, especially Paladin Ramus wants to see all of us. Feel like you might want to be part of it. Also, we would kind of appreciate.
She just sort of sighs and says, well, I don't know, my opinion doesn't seem to matter a damn. To Miss, I can live for centuries.
Miss, I can live for centuries.
Damn.
Like, oh, I've got so much experience. You don't understand any.
Well,
It's not like I've literally been studying this for, like, basically my whole life. However short it is.
regardless, like both of you have some valid points, and I'm not going to be able to fix that in the next, well, probably several hours. But we are gonna. I am gonna need you to well, kind of play nice together. If she snaps, then I'll be sure to say something about it. However, this will be both ways. Just think you can handle that.
She probably takes a few deep breaths and then goes, I can
Look,
pretend to like people I don't like.
Like once we've done this, I think like I got something the other day that you might be interested in. Well, you're definitely interested in. So, but I'll leave that for afterwards. It's something to get your mind off things.
Alright. Whatever. I'll play nice.
Okay. You regroup. There are some exchanged glances. And yeah, you head off in the direction of the cathedral.
Elizabeth's eyes are very grey.
As you step inside, Paladin Ramos quickly notices you from across the hall, strides over and says, "I'm glad you came. I wanted to have a word regarding what happened last night."
Quite a lot happened.
Yeah, you can have to be a bit more specific.
Well,
Unless you mean all of it, in which case,
I'm
yeah, okay.
Yes, I'm meaning the events in general. So, to cut a long story short, we found your black carriages. They left via the North Road about 10 minutes before I got to the guard post.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
From what the sentries tell me, they passed by entirely unopposed. Though I suppose their magic has something to do with that. Though they were not expecting problems.
I mean, yeah, surely, like, I don't know, they would have had to be stopped at that time of night, wouldn't they?
Well, regardless, they made
The
it.
gates were open and they left. I do not know which direction it is that they headed in. But about sometime early in the morning, apparently one of our captives woke up and said some rather interesting things to the guard on duty, which I think you may want to hear for yourselves.
What sort of interesting? Oh well.
We're gonna hear for ourselves.
I imagine that's the next thing that we're gonna
Yeah.
find out. Bye.
Yeah, Paladin Ramos beckons to a man who you hadn't seen sort of, hadn't jumped out as you as being part of the scene, as he stands up from the pew and walks towards you. And he says, so, you're the Ember Eagle then?
Yes. Yes, we are. At least part of it.
So, your captive, the halfling fella,
Yes.
he woke up. Couple of hours after midnight. Just probably about 2 hours since we put him away. Started muttering and mumbling some things in halfling. I happened to speak it. He mentioned you guys a lot. I was talking and cursing you out and talking about how disappointed people were going to be in him. And then he said something that I thought was a bit weird. Basically, he was chattering off on this tangent, and he said, I guess it's the closest way I can translate it is, Avandra's luck they don't find out about the curse.
The curse.
Curse.
I think at that point he realised I was listening to him because he shut up real quick.
Hey, that is kind of concerning.
Well, it made me worried, so that's why I came straight to the Paladin.
Like, the main problem, the reason, I'll just be honest and say, like, the main reason why it's so tricky is this group really loves their mind games. However, the fact that you speak, well, halfling is yeah, that is might be something I didn't account for. But it wouldn't be the first time they surprised us. But definitely thanks for mentioning that.
No problem.
That little fella's what led us to this city in this town.
He certainly seems to be the one in charge.
Well, if only that were true. He has some power. We should. Well, before we go there and try and learn more, I guess. Is there anything else?
That was all I got out of them.
Okay. Well, no, I meant like both, like you and Paladin.
Paladin Ramos just says, no, I figured that was important for you to know before you took any actions.
It's definitely helpful.
We need to figure out if we can question him more and get more out of him.
I guess the only thing I would like to know is if you've been able to burn the undead yet.
That's been dealt with.
Yeah, excellent.
We burned the other body just in case.
Yes. Well, they might as well. I guess. Well, there's still a few pieces we need to. Oh, well, I say a few pieces. A lot of pieces we need to put together. But I guess you're free to go. Looking at the guard.
He sort of turns to the Paladin and says, "If it's alright, Paladin, I'll stay here a little longer." He's like, "Of course." Sort of sits back into the pew.
That's unfortunate.
Oh.
Why?
Oh no, it's just gonna. Well, I was hoping for. I was hoping to share some more.
Oh, he's out of earshot. He just is
Oh, okay.
worshipping.
Well, it looks. Well, it seems more and more like we are. We are more the targets of this group more so than anything else. And well, we still I haven't discussed it with the others yet, but you might as well be included for now. We're not sure what to do with like this royal family, or not royal, noble family involved, because we're aware it's the Smallbrooks.
Well, I've ordered a as undercover as I can, cordon around the estate, but nobody's come or gone, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, I guess this will, at least we know where they operate from. That's something. Yes. Oh, it was something else. That's so stupid. Never mind. Well, I guess that brings us to the part where we try and interrogate the captives. Or
A
if,
note on that point. I'm not able to sanction you having a role in this investigation. So if you want to go there and ask questions, it'll be on your own initiative. The Order has advised me in a move that I am not entirely in agreement with, that we should be distancing ourselves from your group.
And
I
why
would-
is that?
Oh, I would say that is not the worst decision to make, because we are clearly under fire, under attack by a group that is significantly more powerful than your order.
That is the
And-
concern. Until we are more certain about what exactly is going on here, we cannot really be seen to be assisting you. We will operate within the law and do our best as we would normally, but I can't offer you any further assistance outside of what we would normally offer.
Well,
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, they did explicitly say that you're not really a threat to them. Like,
Well,
I guess that
without
is
any
safe.
way to verify that or anything, my seniors are concerned. That is all.
Well, we have. Look, fortunately, I believe we have. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No, go for it.
I was gonna say, I believe we have a way to legally, get some FaceTime done.
And if you feel that you'd like to lend assistance, perhaps outside of the instructions of your order, we wouldn't exactly say no.
He struggles not to smile and says, I'm not surprised that you are the one suggesting that.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean, Paladin Ramos.
Unfortunately, my vows would prohibit me from doing such a thing. I am to follow the Order's instruction, nothing more.
I will respect that.
Oh,
Turns back to Grim and sort of says, the fact that you feel the need to specify legally is why I am a little hesitant.
well, it's mainly because if we were to encounter these people outside of the city,
I
Like,
don't
there's
think
no
I need to
accountability.
know any
there's no
more than...
accountability.
Grim, you're just making his job harder. You're just making his job harder. Stop talking.
yeah.
This poor man.
Elizabeth's gonna look at Grim and just say, all of your, like... You do know that all of this, like, emphasis that you're doing is usually a tell of someone who is not being honest and truthful, right?
I'm sure he's being truthful. That's...
Oh no, he definitely is. This is just how he talks, but I'm just informing
This
him
is
that he
just
doesn't
how
sound
he
as
is
truthful right
sometimes.
now.
This is just Grim.
I'm just informing you that, you know, you maybe don't sound very truthful right now.
Hmm.
So maybe stop putting unnecessary emphasis on things.
Well,
Specifically the word legally. If you have to specify that you're going to do something legally, people are going to suspect you're not going to do that.
if you're
People
wondering,
just assume you're going to do things legally.
we could probably Fundal probably hold some sway. It would take some time to get the paperwork done, but assuming the order of the Golden Line still has some power.
They do.
Admittedly, that would, yeah.
I cannot prohibit you from taking part in this investigation. I just cannot aid you. You will be watched, so
Well,
just... I'm not going to tell you how to conduct your investigation, but you should know that if things go too far, I will have to step in.
I don't. We haven't. Well, we've explicitly made sure to stay within the rules.
I will make sure that
Which is
his vagueness does not cause issues.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Wow.
For our sake and yours.
I have my own investigation to orchestrate, so if you will forgive me, I will leave you to your own.
Of
Oh,
course.
before you go,
Yes.
there is one. We might be able to give you a slight lead on something.
That's
Just
always helpful.
the one thing that gave what's called the Smallbrooks away is actually a paper trail.
Paper trail.
Yes. They on paper they made a. Oh, why do I forget this word every time?
Transaction?
Not not a transaction. A monument. What's it called? The grave. Fancy grave.
Memorial.
Memorial. Yes, they made a memorial for. Well, the person that came in and
Wasn't it a mausoleum?
was it
I think that's what you're
mausoleum?
talking about.
The mausoleum is the building.
Yeah.
There is no separate mausoleum. There is one big mausoleum.
Right.
Yeah.
Because remember how Richard Smallbrook got killed by his brother, apparently?
Yes.
Turns out his brother's burial site doesn't exist.
Well, it exists on paper.
On paper it does, in reality it
In
doesn't.
paper, it's been paid for and built, but it's not there.
Make of it what you will, but that's
That-
It is.
That is an unusual oddity.
Indeed.
And it was so important that when we revealed it, they came out of hiding.
Well, I will see what I can do.
And, yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
And he turns and leaves. Okay, so,
Did you guys actually think of a plan? Like, what actually are we going to do now?
Asira just sort of says, well, I presume the most logical thing to do is, now that we have this lead concerning a curse, we should probably follow that up.
Yeah, that seems
Yeah.
like it's pretty important.
If one of us is cursed,
Well,
that could be a problem.
wouldn't it be as simple as just remove curse from everyone?
Do we have enough capability to do that?
It also depends on what they've cursed us with.
Yeah,
And if it's an item,
it's not always that simple.
Can anybody actually do that?
Yes, actually.
Oh. That's good to know at
Yes.
least.
Otherwise, I know Vondal can.
Not very many times, but I can do it.
I would need to prepare for the following day, but I could remove curses as well.
Yeah, that's a good thing, Kelariis. Do you have it prepped?
Yes.
You do have it prepped.
Because
Good.
I was concerned. I was going to do that because I wasn't sure if Arya's thing was completely gone.
Yeah, okay.
I was worried about that, so I had it.
That's fair. So, to the jail.
Although, let's
Yes.
actually go into this interrogation with an idea of what we're actually going to ask before we ask it. Because we have a
Yeah,
nasty
that-
habit of like going to ask someone questions and not actually thinking about what we want to ask.
Yep. You're right.
We ask like one question and then we're like,
Yeah.
So let's actually think about what we want to ask them before
May also
we go
be
and ask them.
worth, thinking about what way we want to go about this.
Yeah, that would probably also help.
Like, well, what I'd say is all we need to do is convince the guard that we can have a talk.
Well,
Oh,
I
that's
think the
just the
guards gonna
first-
let us have the talk.
Yeah, I think we maybe, hopefully, can manage that.
I mean, I don't think it'll be an issue.
Yeah, that's the first step, and also possibly the easiest.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the easiest part.
The hard part's going to be dealing with, you know, our little friend.
This asshole.
Okay, well, we've got 3 people we want to talk to. Well, 2 people and a thing. So first we have the attempted murder of oh, I forget her name.
Catherine.
Of Catherine. I guess we should we need to figure out why, and we should double check that they're affiliated to the same group.
I mean, we obviously want to ask what this curse is.
Yeah.
Yeah, if possible, we should interrogate them separately.
Separately?
Yeah, well, as in like keep them separated, and then like start the.
Oh, and compare answers.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Although I feel like that might be a luxury.
No, I think they'll probably be like a separate cell or something.
Yeah, surely
Yeah,
they
but-
have, like... This is a jail for, like, a decently sized city.
Yes.
I would imagine they have a separate interrogation room or area or something.
Yeah, but that's assuming that we are gonna be able, or like we're allowed the use of all these resources.
If we ask nicely...
I mean, I guess we have the fact that we brought them in on our side.
Yeah, but like just because a citizen arrests someone doesn't mean they get to like now control
Yeah.
everything about that person.
But we're not trying to control everything about the person.
Well, we won't know until we try to ask, so...
That's true. But
But that's not the important part.
okay, so why should Catherine? Who do you work for? I expect some resistance, although I'm not sure.
I mean,
They'll probably try to resist us.
Almost definitely.
I would assume that they're not just gonna tell us everything we want instantly.
no,
Yeah.
no, almost certainly not.
Like the thing is, they've been the others have been surprisingly open. Well, they're leaders, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess they don't have to. Well, they have no.
Well, I think that's
no job.
because their, and she does air quotes, leaders were not really their leaders. I feel like puppet masters is the more accurate term. At no point, I think, did they ever share the same goals.
Well, from what I understood, or I've been told, that's the whole point. That everyone shares their goals.
Well, this is the thing. They are part of that organization, and they have their goals. But are the people they're manipulating to do
Well-
all of this for them actually part of that organization, or are they stirring up something else to get at us? We don't know. It's entirely
From-
possible that this is some other
I
cult organization that has entirely different motives that thought that these people were helping them.
well, when I had a small encounter with them, one of them told me directly.
What do you mean?
They said like the whole point was that they could that everyone's goals were aligned. So if you're in the organization, your goals you like the one requirement is that you share their goal.
Yeah, but my point is, were all the like, are these guys actually part of that organization? Is my point.
Remember those beads we found?
In the
Pretty
caves.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that like the green marble eye thingies are like a membership token, if you will.
I like to imagine that Grim punctuates this by producing his Amber Eagle.
Wait, do we all have an Amber
But-
Eagle?
I don't think we ever got around to that.
No,
I don't know. No, I don't think you all have one, but I think Grim has one.
but well, I don't know. My point is that may well be a membership token for their thing, but they may be acting on the orders of someone else's thing. Like, yes, we're the Amber Eagle, but technically we're working for the Othels.
I mean, I think we can assume that these people are working for them.
Isn't this
Well,
all just
besides-
hypothesis until we ask them anyway?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Like, we can.
I don't know. My point
Like-
is, I'm just like vague. I just like we should probably confirm that they are actually part of this shady organization and not some other organization that's being manipulated by them.
No, but that's that. We had that like in our questions.
Did we already discuss that?
Yeah, like we figure out who they work for, just double check. Although, admittedly.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about that one guy.
Oh, mainly that one guy. The other people, like they literally said, like they were messing with their. Well, they're among the children of the big bads, whatever you want to call them. So if you're playing nice with their children, I assume you have.
I thought he
affiliation.
meant just Delirium was the child.
No. I think you meant all of them.
He referred to the dead vampires as his offspring and then introduced Illyria as his daughter. So.
And I don't think the vampires would have been playing nice with some strangers.
No.
No, probably not.
Well, they were explicitly taking orders from them.
Right.
Yeah. So.
So yeah. Anyway, what else do we want to ask?
I think the problem is we don't know what to ask really. I think this the two things what we want to get out of the shapeshifter and red robe is I guess we might as well try and get some confirmation on the whole demon thing, because he obviously knew about the demon assassin. Might as well see if we can get some more information about that. We want some more information about the curse, let's say.
Yeah, I think the curse is probably one of our main.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Priority number one.
Okay. So you step into the guardhouse. Seems, looking around, like, there doesn't seem to be anyone sort of in the lobby sort of area of the jail. Or like the guardhouse area of the jail, that is.
I guess, like, I assume there's there's some area that like are there any doors that lead to anything that might seem like do they have like any bars or something so we can see if it leads to the prison or it leads to
I will say, considering Arya and Kelariis were here last night, you know which way it is to the cells.
I mean, do we want to go straight to the cells, or should we
I
not?
I
get
feel like
permission
we should
first?
announce our presence. So
Like,
I assume
I
there's
guess-
like
well, I mean, if anyone's going to give us the authority, it'd be guard captain or whoever else is in charge. So we'd probably have to ask them.
how are like I think this is more like a general question. How is visitation usually done in like is it kind of you can just walk into the jail
I don't think this is visitation.
Yeah, it's usually you'll have to talk to somebody about something. You don't just walk in.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, is there like... Was there not like a guard?
Nope. It
That's
is
silly.
unusually empty.
That's worrying.
Like, is there a
Okay,
like?
I
Wait,
I
Elizabeth's just gonna go, hello?
I think that we should split up, and Kelariis and Elizabeth should go check out the cell, make sure they're there, and then Grim and I will try to find someone to talk to. How's that?
Oh, should we
Sure.
bring back or meet here at the cells?
We'll meet you at the cell,
All right.
Okay.
cause you and I know where it is. So
Yeah, fair point.
Don't let Grim be Grim.
yeah, that's the
That's
plan.
Okay.
Damn.
So
that's fired.
you split in opposite directions. So Kelariis and Elizabeth. You make it probably like halfway down the corridor towards the jail, when coming around the corner, like a fairly brisk jog, one of the guards comes around the corner, sort of sees the two of you and sort of says, "Wait, who are you? What are you doing down here?"
We were looking for somebody to speak to. We came to question the people that we brought in last night. We're with the Amber Eagle.
I don't have time for this right now. And he just sort of says, "Come with me," and just runs off.
Is some-
I'd run after him. What?
Yeah,
is
he
some-
runs
something-
past you up the corridor back towards the lobby.
I guess I'd run after him. Like, has something happened?
Can't really talk about that.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure nothing's going
and-
wrong.
Yeah, surely. If something is going wrong, we may be able to help.
So he gets out like into the lobby with the crash, and runs across into basically Arya and Grim turn into a room, like push it open. It's basically like a almost like a communal area sort of thing, but it's like set up with like tables and benches and things. He bursts in through that same door, sees the two of you, and just sort of says, "More visitors?"
Same visitors. Just looking for, well, anyone.
He points to you and sort of says, "Pass me the medical supplies in that box over there."
Of course.
You grab a box, turn to him, and he sort of says, "Unless any of you is a doctor, I need you all to stay here."
Oh God. Well, Kelariis can heal people.
Yeah, I was like,
I do have an extended medical kit on me, where I have like a what's it called?
And Arya, you have a basic knowledge of first aid as well.
Oh yeah, right. I always forget that.
So most of us are.
So he sort of says, "Unless any of you are a doctor, I need you to stay here." And you all sort of go, "Well," and he's like, "Okay, fine," and runs off. Do you follow him? Anybody? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Who's the one-
First.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Oh, he
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
There
Hello.
we are.
Yeah, something happened there. I don't really know what happened.
Oh, okay. That's
Oh,
fine.
rip.
Okay.
We were just like asking you questions. You were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just like silent. We're like,
So yeah, basically what happens is he says, "Are any of you a doctor?" You all sort of go, "Eh," and then he's like,
No. I asked, what's the injury?
I mean, I
well,
think we should...
I guess his response to that is, "If I knew, I wouldn't need a doctor."
Well, I guess we can have a look.
Okay.
So I just wait here then.
Well, he bolts off back down the thing, so anybody who follows.
Like I'll like
Yeah, I
bolt
think you can
after him and
us.
make a waving motion if not everybody follows.
I mean, yeah, I'm going.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. If he's beckoning, I'm going as well then.
Okay,
that's not-
so you follow him down this corridor, and you find where the majority of the guards have gone, and they're all standing in front of the cell block where Ironclaw, you imprisoned the 3 unconscious individuals last night. You look down into the cell where the doppelganger was, and the doppelganger appears to be being held down by 2 guardsmen and is sort of seemingly unconscious, seems to be thrashing around.
Great.
And on that, we'll take a short break.
Cool.
Woo!